Hi there, and welcome to this week's broadcast. I am super excited to share over the next several weeks short interviews with some of my students. Now, these are students who joined my mini course from Doodles to Dollars, and then they came into my signature program, the Pattern Design Academy. And I think you're going to be very inspired to hear about what they were doing before they learned about surface design and what they're doing a very short time after coming into my hashtag Anne's Universe. Without further ado, let's jump in to this week's interview. Well, hello, Leslie. It's lovely to see you. I love to start by asking where you are in the world.
Okay, I live in Longmont, Colorado, which is about an hour north of Denver, not too far from the foothills, so I can see the beautiful Longs Peak and all the mountains. It's so pretty. And when I was in college, I did not do well. I wasn't really meant to go to college. I was meant to go to art school. So I ended up going to what I call the Kitchen Table School of Art, and my children helped raise me. Which was really, really fun because when I started reading them children's books, I fell in love with children's books. And we started drawing together. And then I thought, well, maybe I should write one and maybe I should illustrate one. And because by then I started drawing little characters of my own that I was really having fun with. And so everything kind of went in that direction. And so that's what I ended up doing is writing and illustrating for children. And then I met my agent and she got me started doing some fabric. I have been wanting to learn to make a pattern in Illustrator for so long. And I was kind of afraid of Illustrator. I am not a math person. And it seemed to be very mathematical. And I was afraid of it. You probably remember, I was like, help. But you were so awesome. I was so excited because you were so patient with me. And your notes, I mean, I have a notebook that's this thick on my class with you. And when I finally got my pattern, I went inside and I showed Gary and he goes, wow, that's really cool. And I said, I think I'm going to have to take the whole class. And I was so happy because he goes, I think you are. And I was so excited.
So what would you like to share with us today?
Well, I can share my mermaid patterns because those are what I'm trying to sell right now. I've sent them into a couple of different people, and right now they're inundated with juvenile fabric. But you never can be discouraged because there's so many fabric companies. I mean, I printed out this list. It's like 3 pages of quilting manufacturers. And I just Googled it online. And so I can go to all these different places and see, they show you how to submit and so I'm working my way through that. So here's my little mermaid bay. I did what you told me to do. I have that little story. Can you see it very clearly?
Yeah, I love it. It's fabulous.
Okay. So I just wrote, if you wish upon a starfish, you may be whisked away to Mermaid Bay. Take a magical journey into the deep, where mermaids and sea life flourish and joy rides upon the waves. Maybe you'll be familiar with this. We went on a trip to Maine, and we went to this place. It was a Fort Potham, Potham. I think it was in New York. So I took all these pictures because it was the coolest fort. And I'm working on a little children's book called Princess Bitty Betty. And so it's this little girl that is so cute, and I can already see fabric coming out. But there's an order to it. You first get to where someone can recognize who that person is, and then you make the fabric. For instance, I made this fabric for Clothworks with baby chicks, and my agent brought it to Las Vegas and hung it in her little booth. And then who should come along but HarperCollins? And they were like, oh, we love her art. Look at these chickies. Can she do a book? And I'm like, of course I can do a book. And then I went on my walk and I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? But I was so excited, and I had the story all figured out by the time I got home from my walk and typed it out, And this was something that happened. My book is called Peep Squeak, and they made a toy, which was like one of my dreams.
Oh my goodness, that's outstanding.
And so you can find on my website, you can see my book. See?
Oh my gosh. Just fantastic. I mean, it's such a great example of the fact that you have to put your artwork out there in order for people to see it, for them to then imagine a new idea. Well, listen, I so appreciate the fact that you were able to spend this time with me. I really appreciate it. I can't wait for people to check out your website and to continue to follow along and to see the next stories that you're creating.
Yeah, it was great. Well, thank you so much.
Well, you're so welcome, and we'll be in touch again soon.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Bye for now.
Bye. Bye.